If you're just getting into motorcycles, you might have seen people using tools like bike lifts, impact wrenches, air compressors and torque wrenches to work on bikes.
Seeing tools at this level can be overwhelming and can quickly put you off of working on your bike. But the good news is that you don't need any of that for basic maintenance.
It's also not worth having to pay someone to do something as simple as an oil change or adjust your chain.
Unless you're in a tax bracket that gets you a brand new European machine with a service plan.
So that means you're probably going to need some basic tools to complete common jobs.
The truth is that if you're not up for adjusting your own chain or pumping your own tires at the very least, you probably shouldn't own a motorcycle. They're not like cars, they actually require passion. Basic maintenance might seem expensive right now, but neglecting your bike will cost even more in the long run. Trust me. Fortunately though, motorcycles are pretty straightforward when it comes to basic maintenance.
Most bikes, especially Japanese ones, don't even need any special tools to get the simple jobs done, and in fact, don't require that many tools at all.
So learning to do basic jobs yourself and building up a small collection of tools can save you a lot of money over time. There are, however, loads of nice tools that you will dream about from day one, because life is more fun with an impact wrench, an air compressor, and even a bench vise.
You will also have a friend who is adamant that every bolt needs to be tightened with a torque wrench.
But ultimately, the best way to start is the budget way so that it's attainable for everyone. And then once you're sure that you want motorcycles in your life forever, you can go crazy kitting out your whole garage. First, let's start with a way to store your tools.
The obvious choice is a toolbox. They're cheap, neat, and don't take up much space.
If you have more space to spare, another budget option is something like a tool wall.
This way, your tools are in the same place all the time, making them easy to find and quick to access. No rummaging through a toolbox.
The first tools to go into your toolbox should be the two items you're going to use most often.
A set of Allen keys or hex wrenches and a set of spanners or wrenches. You can easily buy a set of Allen keys like this for pretty cheap, and they really are the key to most jobs. On sport bikes with fairings, they're a necessity to remove those fairings. They could also gain you access to the battery by removing the rider's seat, lifting up the fuel tank to get to the air box to replace the air filter, undoing pinch bolts for a tire change, replacing brake pads.
You get the idea.
Now, if you have a European bike, a lot of these bolts will be Torx bolts, which look like this, and will require you to get a set of Torx keys like this.
In fact, Torx bolts are being found on more and more bikes these days, so a set of Torx keys are a good investment for all of us bikers.
When an Allen key can't complete the job, you'll probably turn to wrenches. The wider the range of sizes, the more jobs you can complete. For example, a little 8mm will be perfect for cracking the bleed nipple when bleeding brakes, and a 10 and 12mm is very common to adjust your chain's tension. But usually, the bigger the bolt gets, the more likely you'll want to switch to sockets and a ratchet. They might be useless when bleeding brakes, for example, but a socket offers a nice snug fit, and a ratchet gives you that extra leverage you often need on bigger bolts. Not to mention, as handy as wrenches are, repositioning them a million times is a pain in the butt. So where possible, let the ratchet mechanism do the heavy lifting. They're irreplaceable for axles and brake caliper bolts, for example.
They're also versatile and make expanding your collection in the future easier.
For example, you can get Allen key sockets that will work with your ratchet, or pick up an impact wrench that will work with your sockets.
Even though technically you should use impact-specific sockets that are stronger. But don't tell anyone, I've been using regular chrome sockets and they're holding up well. Sadly, screwdrivers aren't reserved for woodworkers only, and although the newer your bike, the fewer screws you will find on it, they're still a must-have.
Sometimes brake reservoir caps have a screw or two on them. Airbox lids usually have screws, and suspension clickers are notorious for needing a screwdriver.
Screws on Japanese bikes that look like Phillips screws are often actually JIS screws, or Japanese Industry Standard. They're a slightly different shape, so a proper JIS screwdriver will make stripping these screws far less common. So if you find yourself frequently working on Japanese bikes with a lot of screws, they're definitely worth picking up. However, a lot of the time you won't be using screwdrivers for their intended purpose.
They're great for prying brake pads apart. They can be stabbed through an oil filter and used as a lever to remove it.
But don't do that, unless you're desperate.
Or you can even use the magnetic tip to pick up bolts that have fallen into hard to reach places. But when that fails, you might turn to needle nose pliers.
You can of course often buy a combo pack that come with needle nose pliers, wire cutters and regular pliers. However, if you're really on a budget, needle nose pliers can technically do it all.
They are great for disassembling brakes or pulling out fuses. They can come in handy to pull a zip tie tight or even just trimming the tail off.
Some other miscellaneous tools that are worth adding to your collection are firstly a tire pressure gauge, because although you can get away with always pumping your tires at a fuel station, being able to check the pressure at home is a lot easier than unnecessarily riding to a fuel station every time.
A funnel can be a godsend for topping up fluids like coolant or oil if your aim is as bad as mine is, or if your filler holes are in terrible locations. An oil filter removal tool is also a great addition, or the budget version is a hose clamp and a hammer. I still use this method. And having a rubber mallet makes jobs like removing or installing stubborn wheel axles a breeze. On the more expensive side of things, we have an optional extra: paddock stands.
They're not strictly necessary, since you can just take the whole bike in to get new tires fitted, for example. But you will of course save money if you take the wheels off yourself.
As for lubing a chain, you can abuse your kickstand to get the rear wheel airborne, or if you have a center stand or drive shaft, you won't even care about this step. But a paddock stand makes chain lubing safer for you and the bike. And even just working on a bike that is vertical is a lot more pleasant than one that is leaning over. But I would say these are all the tools you need to get going and to do the simple jobs a bike will always need.
There's nothing overwhelming here, and I hope this encourages you to learn to do your own basic maintenance. After all, working on bikes can be really fun and really frustrating. Holy shit! But focus on the fun part.
Because before you know it, you'll be adding to your basic collection and accomplishing even more jobs.
But anyway, if there are any tools that I missed that you think are an absolute necessity, please add them down in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next ride.